everybody, and welcome to the 41st episode of the Insiders on Real Estate and Marketing. I am your host, Sandy Hibbard, and I'm joined today with my co-host and our sponsor, Mr. Marc Miller of Secured Title of Texas. And we've got a gang here. We're going to have an impromptu forum and 6-month checkup on your business and your marketing. So I hope that you've got some notes and you're hanging out, you're going to listen, because we've got some brilliant minds right here that have all the answers. I just know it. Marc, how in the world are you?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Doing good. We just, gosh, this is June 30th and Friday, end of month, insanity in the title business.
Man, I bet your office is going crazy.
The good thing is that the closing rooms are full.
Yeah,
So
good.
that's always a nice sign. I was
That's
telling
good.
Dick that we're having probably a pretty good month. So it's about 3 months in a row now that we've been able to nail some nice commercial deals, as well as residential seems to be picking up a little bit. We're about 20% in our order count. So I'm encouraged, but I almost operate on a month-to-month basis, not by pessimism, but just by optimism with reality of order count.
Long term is 60 days.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. So anyhow, all good. I want to get to these guys.
I do too. We've got such a fun show planned, and we were just going to do a checkup on 6 months. And Marc and I were just talking about he and I were going to come and do this, and then last minute this thing came together. I had a brilliant idea to bring our friend and buddy, and I actually posed it to Marc. I said, "Why don't you bring Dick so he can come and bring us some jokes today?" and then Dick has the idea to bring these other fellas. So Marc, take it from there.
Yeah, so let's start with Dick Dillingham, who's been our guest before. We had some great material before, and we didn't get to everything, which this show kind of goes like that. So we promised Dick, say, hey, we want to bring you back. So we desperately called and said, Dick, can you come back?
Yeah.
Everybody's gone.
After a careful selection process, you called me. Yes.
You're at the top again.
I think last night. Yes.
So, and Dick, as we all know in the local market, Keller Williams, he's a trainer, and he's just well known, and entered this market in North Texas of KW. How many, God almighty, how many years ago was that?
27 years ago.
Yeah, wow. So anyhow, and then Pat Zabi, I haven't seen Pat in probably over 20 years.
It has been a while.
Yeah, and noted national trainer. So I'm looking forward to hearing some comments from Pat.
Me too.
Pat will have to zip out a little bit early on us, so we'll swing the camera away from him so hopefully he won't trip getting up. And then I just met Mike Parker. Mike, you've been in Tom Ferry training, when I call it that?
Yeah, we had a Tom Ferry event with Phil Jones up at Frisco, the new PGA. Beautiful hotel.
Excellent.
Beautiful hotel up there.
Excellent.
We had 3 days with them. And
you have your own brokerage firm?
I'm with Huff Realty, which is a home services, Berkshire Hathaway company.
Okay.
Been in business 36 years.
And you do training as well?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so we got kind of a training panel here laid out.
Well, and they're the ones that should have the answers.
So probably what we ought to do, let's just use the theme of 6 months in and 6 months, what's going on in front, and what should agents be doing right now? Pat, I'm going to start with you.
All right. Well, as we were talking about before we started, I was thinking that most people really need to look at where they said they wanted to be at the end of the year. So if it's a one-year plan, and just first of all see if they are even doing the things they should have been doing. They said they were going to do, and that sort of thing. Too many times I think agents have a tendency to want to trash their business plan when it doesn't work, and really what it needs to either be is executed or adjusted. And so I think they need to look at what's worked, what didn't work, what adjustments can I make to make it.
Absolutely. And I want to tag on to this. Something that I've taught for years is the triangle of, do you have enough budget? Do you have enough imagination? Do you have enough time to do your plan? So I think that what happens, I have had so many clients who, they have all these big dreams and they go in, wham, and they do this big thing. It costs all their money. It takes all their time, and they don't have a clue how to do it. And so it fizzles out after a month or so. So time, money, imagination is so important.
Really the question is, if you didn't make your goal for the first 6 months, what stopped you?
Yes.
And it's going to be one of those 3 things.
Absolutely.
Maybe a combination, maybe a combination of all of them.
It is.
But what stopped you from making it happen?
Yeah.
Because if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're going to repeat them again. So if you don't learn what stopped you the first 6 months, you're just going to make another plan and not make it work, and that'll happen.
I totally agree. Yep.
Right now, you can find out who is really working their marketing plan. Okay, there's past clients in Spear, and then you have your social media and your online, okay? The people who are having a really strong year are working their past clients in Sphere, but they're really focusing on the social media and the online leads, the people who have been involved in the system from 3 to 9 months. 10% of the people will buy in the first 60 days, but 55% will buy between month 3 and month 9. So how are you contacting those people? And if you take working those people and working your Sphere and past clients, you're going to have a very good year.
Plus, that gives you a little bit of time to build a relationship rather than just making a call for the transaction itself, right?
Exactly, and it's not having a drip. It's like, are you ready to buy now? It is creating that relationship. You're giving something of value.
Yeah.
In today's world, if you're not giving something of value, you're a delete.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, buying a home, if we're going to talk about real estate, is so personal. And for me to get an impersonal email saying, are you ready to buy? Well, yeah, maybe I'm ready to buy, you know, but who are you? And I don't have the money, or, I mean, there's a million questions that comes up. So it requires a connection and a relationship with that person, whether it's real estate, whether it's any other kind of business. Today, the relationships have to be built over time because it's not a quick fix,
And
right?
an easy way to build a relationship is at the town crier. Today's town crier is Facebook.
Yeah,
If
true.
you don't have 5,000 friends, shame on you, because it's free.
Oh, I thought I was doing pretty good.
But no, it's, you know, you build it up, and that town crier is, you know, you do advertising inside that, and there's different ways you can do it free, you know, with a video, turn around and doing a quick video of a mortgage tip. You know, today's world, you don't have to have 20% down. You know, FHA, you could do a 3.5% down. You get the seller to pay your closing costs. Different little things you can talk about. You become the real estate expert, but you bring value to them. You know, from
Things
that.
we should have been doing.
Yep.
So you know what, in 1989, is when you created your postcard system. Roughly 88, 89?
88.
In 88, 89, having a postcard to send out to everybody you know was unique.
Yeah.
It really was unique. It was top of the mark, you know, all great. Now, it's still important. It's still important, but we have a new entity, and that is Facebook social media. And all you're doing is taking the old postcard system and digitizing it, you might say, and wrapping it around all those same people, and it's just an add-on. Because all of your e-newsletter, you're giving them articles and things of value for us to send out to our people. You're coming up with things of value for us. It's the same concept. It's just become a higher tech version.
I'm laughing because each week I change out my profile picture, the main picture on Facebook, and the results postcard was last week's. It says, you know, what do you get from me? You get results, and it has my photo with it right there. And I just take the postcards and make them JPEGs, and I'm able to use them post there. It's an easy post, ezy to do, switch in and out.
Oh, yeah. Are you still doing direct mail?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
I think
use
that's
his-
important.
We'll do 15 pieces a year, counting the calendar and everything, but we do 4 sewed cards. Okay, after every quarter they're going to get a sewed card. It's an oversized card surrounded by success, has that, and it has the QR code. And the QR code bombed in 15. But the pandemic brought it back, and everybody knows how to use it now because they went to the restaurants. Okay, so
Great point.
we use the QR code for a home evaluation, get your price of the home, and it's an easy way to build up your email list. You know, you and I were talking about the email list before, how important that's become.
It's your gold. It's your
Yeah.
absolute gold. And one of the things that I wanted us to talk about today in the 6-month checkup, you know, what are you doing? What have you done? What's worked? What hasn't worked? Have you thought about ads? You know, and the more I am in social media, the longer I'm in business, the more I realize how important paid ads are. And you know, I hate to say that, but the algorithms have changed so much, and the way that they have structured the networks, Instagram and Facebook, in order for your content to be seen, you need that extra push. And so I think that building your list with that in mind, you know, how do you get people into your database that you can market to via email, that you can market to via direct mail, that you can market to via SMS, texting? There's so many ways to market to a list. if
Yeah.
you have the list.
Right.
So, you know, how are you creating a list and how are you creating content for that list? I think that's really important. And ads are important in that mix because you want that message to get out to who you want it to get out to. If I just put a message out to Facebook and I'm expecting my friends to see it, guess what? My friends are not going to see it unless they're engaging with me. So that means my 10 people that I talk to all the time, they're going to see it. But the people that have liked my Facebook page for my business aren't really going to see it. So how do I push through that boundary for them to see it? Ads. So you got to get a paid ad to get out there. And in that, there's the Facebook Instant Lead that I think is really cool now. So that if my content is compelling enough and what I'm pushing, so if it's a luxury listing, if it is a buyer's guide that has something special, I mean, really, realtors have to stretch to get something different these days because it's hard. I've done real estate marketing for 25 years and it's hard because it's not a tangible product. So coming up with ideas and coming up with content that draws people in is super challenging. So if you've got that imagination and you can get those products and that content out there that people will go, I want that, I'm interested in that, and they can click through and you can get a live lead from that, that's huge, but it takes a little bit of money to do that.
I completely agree with you because, excuse me, 5% of your regular Facebook will see your regular post.
Yeah.
So you got to buy the ads to get into, and then you figure out who is your target. Okay, I'm after boomer and seniors.
Okay.
I'm after the listing.
Yeah.
So my target is the boomer and senior. So my ads are geared toward that. Now, if I'm going to use Instagram, it flips. I'm going after a millennium or a Gen Z. Okay, so that's more of a different post, a different type ad than what the Facebook will be. And, you know, because the boomer and senior usually will have the listings, the higher price listings that I'm after. And that's what my target is. And that's kind of how our ads are wrote up. And it's just with playing with them a little bit. You see what works, what doesn't work.
Like Pat said, you have to adjust.
Well, you know, as you were talking, I was thinking about it's content marketing, and you use the word compel. Agents today are struggling. They know they need to be involved, but they just don't have it. They don't even have the resources, talent, want to do it, think they've got their time is better used being in front of a customer. And so it takes a long time to get an ad out there. But here was what I was trying to distinguish. When they put stuff together, they have a tendency to put product marketing out there more so than educational and informational stuff that brands them as an agent. If a person stays in a home 10 to 12 years and the trend is longer, then you've got to say something other than do you want to buy or do you want to sell?
Exactly.
And so
Mark preaches this every month.
Well, I'm a big believer in it, Mark. In fact, we came up with a slogan that was helping people be better homeowners when they buy and sell and all the years in between.
Yeah.
Because that's most of us. I bet there isn't a real estate agent that's been in business for more than a year that hasn't used the expression, you know, anytime you have a question about real estate, give me a call. You don't have to be buying or selling. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, there's different theories of thought on the product in institutional, or is what we used to call that type of advertising, but we'll call it informational. Yeah. And for content marketing. But it's probably 70-30, 65-35. The part that should be the product marketing, I guess it has to do with your sphere of influence. I mean, if you're really going after somebody that you don't know, right, then it can be heavier on the product marketing. But if you're going after, if your big base is sphere of influence, people that you know, these are long-term relationships.
Yeah. A great example of this is this past January, I don't even know the name of the thing, the home owners thing that you have to sign up for.
Oh, for your homestead exemption.
Homestead exemption. Okay. I bought a house and I didn't do it, you know, and I get this notice that it's coming due, and I sent it to Mark, you know, panicking. What is this? What do I do? Okay, I have been in marketing for my whole life and I didn't know what that was. So how many people out there, that's just one thing that a realtor could go, okay, prior to January. So December marketing, you got January marketing, and then the deadlines in April. So you've got up till April. You've got all these points where you could reach out to the people that you've sold homes to in your A list, the people that you're trying to get to buy, to show your knowledge and your helpfulness. And did you know, in all the years that I've been a homeowner and lived in houses, I have never gotten anything from a realtor saying, and that includes the realtors that I bought the house from, it's time to file your homestead exemption. Do you have any questions about it? What is it anyway?
Well, but
Never.
you will know where to go for the 4th of July fireworks.
Yeah. That's
Because
right.
there's 300 of those
Yes,
on
exactly.
Facebook right
And if
now.
you had bought your house from me, you would have heard about that.
Thank you.
There is
back.
that, Pat and I talked about this years ago. There's the buy period, there's the sell period, and there's the hold period. And I liked that word. Even in the article I read that you recently put out, you said all things real estate home related. I mean, everything. And
Everything.
The hold period is much longer than the buy or the sell period. Those are blips on the
Yeah,
radar.
true.
The hold period is years long.
How about pool tips? How about you need a new
Oh, yeah.
patio this summer?
Yeah.
Here's my list of vendors that you
there's
could contact.
100 ideas. It's the implementation, the
Yeah.
organized implementation. So one of my pet peeves is when I'm teaching a class and I ask the class, I say, how many of you have a team? About 20% of them will raise their hand. I said, wrong, wrong. All of you have a team. All of you have a team. And if I were active in my sales right now, I don't quite understand how the marketing ad thing works, but here's what I do understand. I understand the benefit of it. So what I would do is hire you to go make it happen, and in the process of making it happen, we would have this conversation about, okay, what is your target? What goals do you want to set out?
Right.
How many people do you have as friends in your Facebook now? Do you do Instagram? So we would get all of that together, and then you would come up with a plan. Okay, I don't need to know how to do it. I need to know how do we get the results.
Right.
I'm a bottom line.
Your
because you're going to
team.
be a part of my team.
Yeah.
You're going to be a part of my team. How many times do we try to make the realtors try to make it all happen
Yeah.
themselves?
Yeah. Mark is talking about this all the time. You know, being able to put together a team.
The title
that can
company
get
is
the
a part
things
of my
done.
team.
Right.
The mortgage company is a part of my
Yeah.
team. The inspector
A
is a part of my
photographer.
team.
A graphic
photographer.
designer, you're a marketing person
Yes,
like Sandy.
but
you're
we
a
don't
creator.
utilize them
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah,
And you're the expert, I'm not. I'll just tell you what I want to have happen.
exactly.
Or you
exactly.
show me what can happen, and I'll say, that's not enough, or that's plenty, or, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
One of the things I've learned over 36 years, and I just came out of an event, there's 250 team leaders, and they were all large teams. And we're, lunch, we're talking about, so what's the makeup of your team? Almost everybody's getting rid of the photographer. They'll have a video person, but their marketing person and everything like that were outlined to companies like yourself. We're bringing in virtual assistants to do certain jobs, hire it out to a marketing company. You handle this part, you know what you're doing. This allows me to focus on sales.
Yeah.
I don't have
makes
to focus
sense.
right there, and it's more cost effective to do it that way. And it's just because you're in it every day, you understand how those rhythms change overnight. Like
Yep.
Google did something 2 weeks ago that just totally screwed up everybody. and it's just, you spend all this money, and I was like, what in the world just happened here? Okay, and then you have to start over and everything. And it's, you do what you do best.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to manage people. I want to be on the street.
Yeah.
I work best. I have an operations manager. Melody's been with me 25 years.
You're one of those realtors, you like the face-to-face contact.
Yeah, face-to-face or more, it's phone. Like we're in the hallway, I'm working a contract here. We got 9 offers on something this morning, and so we're working on it, trying to get something worked out and everything. And so on a piece of property, I thought, it's out in the middle of nowhere, $10 too, but everybody wants it, so.
Yeah,
That's all that counts.
yeah.
So from fundamentals, you guys have been training a long time. The fundamentals have not really shifted in real estate, have they?
Oh, no.
Other than we've got this add-on that we've talked about in the social media side. But you went in and started in the room and just went to the fundamentals. That's where it's still applicable for successful selling
Yes, it is.
today.
What worked in '96 works today. We just have IT on top of it.
Okay.
I
That's
totally
right.
agree with that.
That's
That's
the
right.
only thing, direct mail is still 2 to 3%. What worked in '96 works today, and actually is more profitable than today than if you take it. If you take your social media, you create your follow-up system, and your follow-up system needs to have your personality.
Absolutely. Branded marketing, personalized marketing. So guys, it sounds like we're all saying, okay, people, you need to get off your tufts and get out there and do the stuff, do the stuff. You train and you say this all the time, right? So 4 to 6 month checkup, what are some particulars, what are specific things that you would recommend someone who may be struggling now, July 1st, their business is just kind of dry, nothing's going on. Let's hear some advice.
I said something to Gary Keller one time, the co-founder of Keller Williams. I said, when I get in a slump, I said, one of the things I do is I pick up the phone, I start calling people. I don't have any preconceived script. I just want to talk to people. I want people talking to me. Well, how you doing? How's the family? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams, the Ford method. We're gonna build the relationship. We're gonna renew the relationship. And I said, and then I preview houses. I said, and that gets me going. That gets me going. Activity gets me going.
Activity breeds results.
And I said, he said, well, Dick, those are kind of the basics, aren't they? And I go, yeah. He goes, well, whoever gave you permission to leave the basics?
Oh, that's
You're
good.
always working on the basics, and you're always working. The basics is creating relationships, strengthening those relationships. Now our company calls the touches that we make to those people in our database, we call them care calls.
Care calls.
Everybody needs a care call.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a
Particularly now.
care call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Yeah.
There's
It's
nobody
true.
that doesn't need something that one of us can provide to them. We just have to reach out to them. So if I had one piece of advice to get myself going, to get back on a track that I was on and fell off, I would say pick up the phone and start calling people that you know, that know you. Ask how they're doing. Ask them if there's anything you can do to help them in any way, shape, or form. If I was short of names, I would ask them this: who do you know that I should know? Who do you know that I should call? And I ask them if I could help them. If I'm short of names. I've always been lucky enough that I have a lot of names.
Yeah.
So adding names was never a problem for me, but staying in touch with those names is a bigger challenge. But that would be my one thing.
That's
and then
good.
I'd hire an expert like you to put that layer on top. But the layer on top, don't misunderstand, it's not as important as the foundational piece.
Good.
I think salespeople are looking for the easy way out. I hate to put all salespeople in a box,
They are.
but
They are.
they have a
Athletes
tendency to be that way.
Yeah.
So, Mark, you said fundamentals, and then Mike, you said without tech. Well, here's the difference. The tech is a tool, and the fundamental is talking to people. And so, from the very first day I got in real estate in 1968, my mother, who was in real estate, says, okay, we've got to get a list of everybody you know, and we would put those together ahead of time, and then your job was to stay in touch with them, and then you build on that. Well, we see people, realtors, every day that have been in business for 20 years, 30 years, and I say, how many people have you got in your database? And they say, well, 230. What? How many houses are you selling? 30 a year. 30 a year times 20 years, that's the
Should have been a
minimum
large
that you
database.
That's
should
the
have
minimum
in
you
their
should have.
database.
Absolutely. It's
It's-
paying attention to your business too.
I got 789 phones in my database called my iPhone. 789. There's 789. I got 2,888 friends on Facebook. Sorry, I don't have 5,000. I started calling through them if I didn't know who they were.
I'm gonna get on there tonight. and
But
start
I got
friending people.
2,888 names of people I can tell you their story. Not as much of their story as I should be
I
able
love
to tell
that.
you.
I love that.
So-
you know them.
Dick,
Yes.
if you were to call those 789, and let's see, how many could you get call in an hour? Some of them you'll have to leave a message, right?
I could call 10 to 15 in an hour because I would keep the call to 6 minutes or less.
A pop by on the phone.
Yes.
And how
yes,
long will
yes.
it take you before you actually pick up a lead from those?
2 days.
No, you'd be 1
2
hour
hours,
12.
I mean.
2 hours.
hours.
That's what I was
2
expecting.
hours. 2 hours, I'd have a lead. Maybe 1
Maybe
hour.
less than that,
Maybe
yes.
1
Wow.
hour.
6% of the people in your phone will do a real estate transaction this year.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Whoa.
6%.
If you got
What
800
about texting your phone people? What do y'all think about that?
Not as good.
Really?
But better than nothing and better than an email.
I do it on the holidays. I will text usually 2 to 3. I'll create a message, but then I'll put Bob and Linda, John, Lisa and Sue,
Yeah.
whatever. I'll create it. Happy Father's Day to the fathers. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers. July 4th is coming up. I'll be doing that. Memorial Day, Derby Day, Kentucky's a big deal,
Oh, yeah.
So, we do a lot of marketing like that. I'll send that out. I'll get about a 60% response back, from that. But
It's also because you know them, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's right.
But this is the way my team is set up, and this is, if you don't do this, you're not on a team. It's 20 contacts a day, 5 days a week. It's 100 contacts in a week. And each year there's 40 productive weeks, okay? In our market, end of July to September 1st or Labor Day is slow, second slowest time of the year. December 15th to January 15th is a slower market. You should be taking 3 weeks vacation a year. So it equals out to about 12 weeks. Does not mean you won't do business during that time. It's just going to be slower.
Right, right.
20 contacts a day, 5 days a week is 100 contacts, times 40 weeks is 40 units. You will close 1% of the people you talk to. That's 40
It's
units.
the numbers.
So the 20 contacts, 5 sphere of influence. The old math, 200 plus 200 was 400. In today's world, 200 plus 200 is 4,000, the way the downloads go, the way Facebook, the way Instagram and goes and things there. So 5 sphere of influence, if you've been into business anytime along, you got 5 past clients. The other 10,
And what counts for reaching out? A
basically,
contact. What counts for a contact?
pump buys, you saw them at church, you saw them in person. You write 5 thank you notes a day. I pay for the postage. I use accessory cards. They're very expensive, but people don't throw them away. It's something to value when they get.
Yeah.
And they need to be talking. You should have 5 A buyers that you are talking to daily. If you have enough lead generation coming in, you got your buyers, A buys today, B wants to buy but needs to sell or divorce or whatever, sees everybody else, and you create that. It's 2 hours of work.
How do you overcome the weariness? You're just flat tired.
You create
You hear the
wins.
realtor that's just, I know,
Well, I think
I know I need to do this,
Let's go
I know,
back.
but I
think
don't feel like it.
You
I'm tired.
you occasionally have to analyze why you're in the business.
Yeah.
What's your mission statement? What's your purpose? My purpose is to help people who need help with real estate. And if I get tired, then I've shifted the focus the wrong direction. These people need help. I mean, I enjoy reaching out to people who I know. Now,
But you're so unique.
I'm
I
not
mean,
good
Vic,
at
not
reaching out
everybody
to
likes to
strangers.
talk to people like you do,
Well, I do the mail outs and I do everything and I do the Happy Mother's Day, the Happy Father's Day. I go all of those things, but they are to people that I have a relationship with. But I've built that relationship
it,
over 30 years. 30 years. I mean, 1988 when we started, and one of the things he taught me is that 200 plus 200, it's 200 times 200. The average person has 200 acquaintances. So the 200 people in my database each know 200 people. That's 40,000. That is such a leveraged position. And then when you look in our business, if I could just sell one more house, today that's $15,000 to $20,000. $20,000 for just one more sale. It could be the next call I make.
Yeah. I mean, that's why everybody's in this business, but you got to be smart. So we're out of time.
I know.
Why don't you sum
We have
stuff
more.
up?
Wait, we have more.
You're just going to have to come back.
Can I
You're just
say
going to
one
have to
thing
come
real
back.
quick?
Yes, of
Wrap
course.
it up. Yeah.
A web lead, a Facebook lead, that's a live person.
Yeah.
It's not a piece of paper.
Well,
that's the
hopefully
number.
it's not a bot.
Yeah, right there. Right, but I mean, it's a live person. People forget that.
Yeah.
They forget that is an actual person on the other side of
Yeah.
it. You know, so when you're making that call, you're making
true.
that follow-up, there's an actual person on the other side
Yeah.
you're helping.
So I'm gonna yield my 3 because I'm just sitting
Yeah,
there. I love
yeah.
this group of guys right here. Pat, what we do is we just finish up and say, what would be your 3 takeaways? If you've only got 1, fine. But if you've got 3, what would be 3 takeaways as you see the world today in real estate?
Well, I mean, I would probably say that everybody needs to work on their database, regardless of where it's at. And that's where they should be focusing. I've always believed in that. And
Love that.
If you're only using Outlook or Gmail, you can go right down that list and call those people and talk to them. I believe in the notes section of every one of those because they have a place to date a note in there. We talk to so many people, we can't take enough ginkgo biloba to remember everything we talk to them about. So what we have to do is make a dated note so that the next time we call that person, we can refresh our memory. And when we bring a subject up, like last time I was talking to you, your daughter was going off to that horse show. Is she still doing that? And when you talk about them, you've made them special and you're helping them. And so
Love
you
that.
don't have to bring up real estate. All you have to do is be sincerely interested in them.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
I thought that up.
That's really good. That's brilliant.
Anything else? Any
Well,
other?
I agree on the database, but again, I'd get a closer look at how successful I was at my original plan, and I would either realtors have a tendency to overcommit. I mean, I want to
Yeah.
do this, this,
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this, and this, and this. No, pick 2.
Yeah.
Pick 3.
Yep.
Do them better.
Yeah.
2 or 3 things.
that.
Do them really well.
Gary Vee
There
says,
was
pick a network
Yes.
and blow it up.
Yes. That's
Pick
a good,
one and
yes,
blow it up.
That's it. Brian Buffini said, I'd rather see you write 1 personal note a day, every day, than 5 on a hit or miss basis.
Yeah,
And then I'd hire your firm to come in and put the layer on top
that's right.
while I'm working the
Yeah.
field.
Absolutely. Good.
First thing, client events. Client event doesn't have to be
exactly.
50, 100 people. It could be 5 couples over to your house
Yeah.
having a barbecue. Second thing, I believe in prospecting where nobody else is prospecting. We go back to foreclosures who bought a foreclosure between 2008 and 2015 and work those people because 70% of them still have not sold. So there's a large people and most agents are out of the business. Third thing is look at new construction, a neighborhood that's been in 2 to 3 years. Most builder will be a 50-50. 50% sold with an agent, 50% was the builder's rep. You can pull up for your MLS which ones sold with an agent, which ones didn't, work the ones without. You know, just kind of try to focus.
Because they don't have a
in.
relationship.
Exactly
Right,
right.
right.
It's
Great stuff.
amazing.
Well, the
when you-
50% that sold with, half of those people
Bill are
have
gone
not
out of
have
business.
lost
Yeah.
lost the relationship or something like that,
And
right?
one last thing too, learn
Orphans.
financing.
Orphans.
Quit just flipping it over to a mortgage officer.
Agreed.
Get to know the difference because like right now, if somebody's got $100,000 down, they might be able to get an FHA 2.8 FHA assumable loan instead of taking a conventional. When you do the numbers, you save a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
good stuff.
All right, guys.
Good
See,
stuff,
this is
great.
called gray hair, guys. This is called wisdom.
Yeah.
We got the wisdom down this line
Thank
today.
you all
Yeah,
so
thank you
much for
Thank
stopping
you.
by.
Yeah,
It's
appreciate it.
wonderful. And I
Yeah.
think that it's all about building the relationship. It's about being forensic, asking the right questions. It's about being involved in your business. People need to work a little bit harder maybe, you know, and just work on those relationships.
least
but-
smarter.
Or more,
Or at least
more-
smarter.
yeah,
Work
more-
smarter.
More purposeful.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right.
A lot of that
Exactly right.
was based on everybody figuring out what they're good at doing.
Yeah,
What are your strengths?
yeah,
Stick with those.
love it.
Agreed.
Can't beat that.
All right.
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We will
guys.
see you
Thank
next
you, guys.
month on the Insiders on Real Estate and Marketing.
Ciao.